Hey, small business leaders, have you ever thought there's got to be an easier way to do all the busy work? With JustWorks all-in-one platform, you can check all the boxes, run payroll in 90 seconds, access premium benefits, take care of tax reports, and even hire internationally. Any questions? Reach out to their expert staff for real human support. Plus, transparent pricing guaranteed. Visit justworks.com/podcast to join the thousands of small businesses that trust JustWorks to take care of payroll, benefits, compliance, and more.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
All right, HBCU Legends fans, it's Kyle Team Mosley here with Coach Daryl Stewart on a Friday night. Coach, what's happening?
Hey, man, great weekend of football. Unusual time that we get to talk about it, though. But, hey, man, I'm excited and ready to get started on another great football weekend.
Let's get it cracking, baby. Look, man, I am geeked. This is going to be a great weekend. I feel like college football, we got a lot to talk about, Coach. I mean, it ain't going to be like it's going to be some short little show here. But one thing I have to say, man, before we even get into college football, thank you to the listeners for all that you've been doing to help support the program for Coach and I. Thank you so much. That's right. All I can say. Just thank you, guys.
Right.
So remember, you can follow us at HBCU Legends and go to hbclegends.net to check us out in the articles and the podcasts and everything else. And you can check Coach out at Big Tycoon, making money all the time. Big baller shot caller.com. All right, Coach. Man, what were you doing this Friday night, man? You went to a high school game?
Yeah, high school football, you know, it's big over here in Louisiana, man. And just looking at some top recruits in the state.
Okay. Speaking of recruits, Coach, did you see that Amazon special with LSU?
I hadn't checked it out yet. I heard about it.
Guys, that is a must-see for everybody who wants to understand how big this NIL money is, man. LSU has their own department. You hear me? And it's not a small department. We're talking about millions and millions of dollars is rolling in for these student athletes, man. And, Coach, we kind of talked about this, I think, a couple seasons ago about how Texas A&M and Texas, they had the recruiting departments where they had student athletes and everybody coming in to the phone banks and calling alumni, trying to raise money and everything to that nature. And I threw out that idea as something that the HBCUs can do. Why aren't we doing something like this, man? Why aren't we doing it?
Well, you know, I mean, Kai, I don't want to say we don't know how, but I was very intrigued on listening to the 4 ADs the other night, Willa Brown, the assistant AD at Alabama State and the AD at Delaware State. All of them had some great things to talk about as far as the NIL and how they're doing things. Now, what was intriguing to me was from what they were saying, the NIL department at HBCUs are not just the athletic directors. The balance is so big from what they were saying. If you get $1 million, it goes through so many channels. That's why it's so difficult now for them to do an NIL deal. I've heard some of it might go to student affairs, some of it might go to foundation. And so that makes it hard on the athletic department if your money that's coming in for athletics is going through so many other channels. Now, keep in mind, Kyle, we was talking about having the right PhD people in the right department where you can fundraise and do these type of things. But, you know, some of our schools are short of these people. We got a lot of interim positions. And so now I just think it's coming around where the commissioner is having the ADs now to collaborate on NIL. So if they're getting, I heard Coca-Cola was a big sponsor. So they're splitting money now a lot of different ways. So hopefully next year you'll see a lot of NIL and recruitment going on with HBCUs. But as of right now, I think right now what's going on is they're trying to put people in place to handle these big budgets because right now they just don't have the people.
Well, we will circle back around on that later, man. I think it's something that it's going to be a mainstay in every department, right? I mean, you can't have an athletic department without having somebody understanding how to have the compliance for NILs, understanding how to be able to get the distribution for it as well, right?
Right.
All right. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, Coach. Big games coming up. We had a opportunity to speak to Bubba McDowell about Southern going into Prairie View and being able to meet with those guys. That's a SWAC West game that I think the more pressure is on Prairie View than Southern at this time. Southern hasn't lost a SWAC game yet because that Boombox Classic is not classified as one. But Prairie View is already down one in their own division to Texas Southern. How do you see this one?
Well, I'd have to disagree with you, Kyle. I think it's the other way around. I think the pressure is on Southern University. I think Prairie View's going to win the ball game. You know, we just talked about NIL hurting our schools, Kyle, with Bethune and Southern and just a lot of our big brands right now, but it's definitely hurting Southern University. I've never seen a Southern University team that is less talented as I saw against Jackson State last week.
Wow.
And I just can't, you know, I was at the game and told some of the, even some of the fans said it, you know, NIL, they got to go out and get some better players. It's not Coach Gray's fault. I think right now that everybody is saying, hey, we got to get better players. You know, the coaches had players in position, but when you talk about a physical Jackson State team that just was physical on both sides of the ball, and they practically did anything they wanted to do against Southern.
At will.
Yeah.
At will.
I hadn't seen the Southern team like that in a long time. And so I just think right now, Kyle, you know, you hit it on the nail, man. Our bigger programs right now are suffering from NIL. And I'm told Jackson State had a couple of NIL players, and they look like NIL players. Whether Coach Prime, you know, some people say they was supposed to go with Coach Prime, but they stayed. So, you know, Jackson has a dynamic team, and if they don't go to the SWAC championship, it will be disheartening for their program because they definitely have an outstanding ball club. But I just think right now Prairie View's going to be in the driver's seat of this one, and I just hope, you know, because Southern has quarterback issues. You know, both quarterbacks got hurt in the game. They were down in the third string, and Prairie View's riding high right now. They look good against Northwestern State. So I just think Prairie View will have the edge in this.
Yeah, I think Coach Graves stated that Bowden is going to be the starter. So he is going to have an opportunity to kind of take hold of this offense again. His second shot, and you look at T-Set, that was a tough injury to really look at the young man, a lower leg injury. You don't like to see those, but I just think when you look at him, and on the other side you have Cam Peterson, who has an opportunity to kind of write his career with Prairie View as well. He was originally targeted by Bubble McDowell to be the starter, but Lucas Coley came in and took the starting position. He went down in the Texas Southern game, and he is getting back to practicing, but he's not 100% at this time, what Coach McDowell told us. So Cam Peterson, he didn't have a great game against Michigan State, but again, that was Prairie View against Michigan State. And but one thing you said about Prairie View, looks like they had the ability to move the ball a little bit on Michigan State. Talk about that.
Yeah, I thought that Bubba McDowell went in with a great game plan. I had a chance to watch the first half of that game. Prairie View wasn't afraid at all. They were moving the ball well up and down the field. I just think they had more bodies than Prairie View, but Bubba McDowell had an outstanding ball club against Michigan State. They did move the ball well. They played defense well. And, it just ran out of gas at the end of the tunnel, Kyle. But I thought that his team showed heart, showed guts, and very proud of how they went up to Michigan State and hung in for 4 quarters.
Yeah. And they did not have a significant injury. That was another point of contention. A lot of people were concerned, do you go play these big programs and you have major injuries? They came home pretty unscathed in the game. So that's good for Prairie View. Another big one is the Aggie Eagle Classic that's taking place. Trey Oliver and those guys, right?
Big game.
Yeah, and it's a big one where I think the Eagles are a 3.5 point favorite over the Aggies at this time. Talk about that classic.
Big game in the state of North Carolina. Coach Trey Oliver's going to have his team ready to play against North Carolina A&T. You can throw the records out the way in this one, Kyle. Both teams going to fight hard. I believe Coach Brown has that team ready to play, and Trey Oliver's going to have his team ready to play. But got to get it is this one's going to come down to coaching. And when it comes down to coaching, I just got to get it is Trey the True Waller. I think he's going to come out of this one. Not going to be a high-scoring game because A&T has a great defense this year. I think it's going to be a 14-10 or 14-7 win for North Carolina Central.
Yeah. My concern about the Aggies, they just can't move the football. They can't score points, and you look at what the Eagles were able to do against the Tar Heels. They went down on the opening drive, scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the greatest second half that they had, but they also lost Harris, their starting quarterback, due to a concussion. But he is targeted to start this game. He went through the concussion protocols, Coach Oliver said, and he wanted to see how he handled practice today. And then he was going to make a decision if he was going to start or not. But they have the freshman waiting to be able to come in just in case Harris does not fare well in practice. But right now he's projecting him to start anyway. Okay?
Well, Kyle, I wanted to talk about that with so many of our quarterbacks. You don't see any had a chance to talk to a couple coaches about why we didn't see any junior college signee quarterbacks in the SWAC this year. because you throwing these freshmen in here. Let's be honest, man. You got to take these guys through the weight room process. And, you throwing them out there, and every coach has their own philosophy, Kyle, but I just think that body needs to be a year in to face that gridiron out there when, because you don't want to get a kid hurt, Kyle. I just think, but when you talk about junior college quarterbacks, you always have a coach say, hey, coach, if we had an NIL, we can get one. So you can't argue you can't argue with them on that, Kyle. So, I had to be quiet because things have changed now, man. And, I was just at a high school game tonight with a parent talking about a 6'5" lineman, and her son got off $300,000. So, I mean, it's just.
Ooh, what?
Yeah, we got to do our due diligence when it comes to this, because I just think right now, every SWAC team is being affected by the talent this year. I mean, you look at Alcorn, you look at Bethune, you look at Valley, Southern, everybody's struggling, and the talent is really not there like you think it is. So.
Okay, we will be back in a few minutes, and we will have a word from our new sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Hi, I'm Coyote Mosley of HBCU Legends. It's the greatest time of the year again. Football is back, and it's here to stay till February. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog. I love Underdog because it's so easy and fast to get started. The sign-up process is smooth, and they have a really slick mobile app. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward, and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com, sign up for promo code HBCU Legends, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code HBCU Legends, to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. You must be 18 years or older, 21 or older in Massachusetts, as well as Arizona, 19 and older in Alabama, as well as Nebraska, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or 1-800-639-8783 or text Next Step to 53342. In New York, call 24/7 Hope Line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467369. Go to Underdog Fantasy today. All right, I'm Coyote Mosley of HBCU Legends, back here with Coach Daryl Stewart. Coach, right now we are facing some new territory with the NCAA, right? The word came out with the meetings this past week that the guys who are the Power Four conference, as well as Notre Dame and a couple others that they're going to invite to the party, are going to take all the money and run. They say, forget you, FCS and other Division I schools. We are calling the shots here, and they are pretty much going to broker a deal where it's going to be a split between the divisions, man. And it was coming. You could see it coming, and it was motivated mostly because what we were just speaking about, name, image, and likeness. Right. How do you feel about that, man?
Kyle, right now, when you look at these different conferences and teams, it's so many ways you can get money. And I don't think the NCAA is stopping no team from getting their money. I suggest that the HBCUs right now use the same NFL model. look into playing overseas right now, Kyle. I just think the money is too big. You got a chance to get an even $10 to $15 million playing in Europe, Mexico, Dubai, Ireland, Amsterdam. These countries are offering money for you to come over there and play. Let's take advantage of it. If we don't get that, it's just so many ways you can get the money right now, Kyle. I just think our presidents and ADs have to be a little more creative. Let's take a chance and get the money elsewhere, because it's just too many ways to get the money now.
Yeah, a lot of different ways to get the money. And I think if I was in charge of an athletic department, I would be sitting down, going to as many webinars, seminars, RRs, Gs, ABCs, anything else I can learn about NILs, right? Mm-hmm. Because like you said, the money is there. Mm-hmm. And I think also not only that it's there, but these guys are taking the money and running. When I'm talking about these power schools, but they are taking the money and running because they have the influence.
Right.
We don't have the influence.
Right.
You can't sit at the table to negotiate billion-dollar deals like some of these conferences. If they all come together, that's what's going to happen. They're going to negotiate the billion-dollar deals, and it's going to be tough sledding for the little guy. I think it's going to come to a point where some of like a Jackson State, North Carolina Central, or a Grambling, or some a Florida A&M, a big name HBCU school may leave the roost, leave the nest, and join in on what the next stage of these FCS schools are going to come up with, and see if there's money there and availability for them. I wouldn't be too shocked if that happened, man.
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, everybody's talking about Jackson State might be able to do it. But I still say, Kyle, that, our other schools we just have to get in online and be creative as one. Right now, everybody's doing their own thing, trying to get ahead, but it's like nobody has the go ahead to do what they need to do to be productive. And like you said, man, we can't be scared to sit at the round table. It's like when we see big numbers, nobody budge. You can't. Athletics now is millions and millions of dollars, and if you're scared when you see millions and millions of dollars, then you don't need to be at the table. And so, I just think right now, man, we gotta get some people that ain't scared to sit at the table and negotiate.
Well, and that's been a point of contention from 20 plus years ago when the MEAC was trying to negotiate a deal with the ESPN guys. The ESPN guys didn't want to give up a whole lot of money, even though they knew a lot of money was on the table, and they kind of circumvented the guy who was heading up the negotiations and decided to be able to work out a side deal with these ADs and everything else. But it really didn't work altogether, man. And I think it hurt the conference to a point. So when we look at this group of six realignment, the dominoes are falling, where also, guess what? The Pac-12 is going to resurge. That's the result, man. And the Pac-12 and you spoke to me about this, where Tulane, Memphis, and USF will become a part of that Pac-12. Now, how is USF going to get all the way up to the West? You know?
They have, I think their enrollment went up to 30,000 students.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, enrollment went up to 30,000. And, man, it's, Tulane, I think, is in the driver's seat of all these schools that are moving up, because you're in a major city like New Orleans. And once these kids now find out that Tulane will be going to the Pac-12, playing the big schools, playing the Power Fives, they're in a hotbed of talent. And so I just think right now, with their big win over USC last year, Tulane is in the best predicament out of all these schools. And watch out, LSU. I mean, now you'll have 2 Power 5 schools in this state, man. That's going to be, wow, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah. So LSU and those big boys are going to be a part of what Ross Dellinger from Yahoo Sports says is going to be the Subdivision A. And get this, Subdivision B is everybody else.
Right.
That's it. That Subdivision A is going to be the one driving the money. All right, guys, let's talk about this right quick, Coach. And I know we got some time, and it's not HBCU related, but it's related to us in the media. Adrian Wojciechowski is going to now retire all of a sudden. He was the basketball insider for NBA, and he decided abruptly he's giving it up, and he's going to serve as the general manager at his alma mater, St. Bonaventure. And that was a huge blow to ESPN. Any thoughts?
Well, the general manager position now is becoming a popular position in sports, not just football, but basketball as well. And more and more media, this is why I love the media so much, Kyle. The media is a billion-dollar industry. And so besides being a head coach and a CEO, the media people are going to have a chance to sit at the table with the big CEOs now, because they know numbers. They're seeing big contracts, and every major college program wants a media deal. So now they figure what best way to get a media deal when hire a great media icon. And that's what media people are doing now. They're transferring over into an AD role or a general manager role, simply because they've seen the money. They know how to get the deals, and most athletic directors now and presidents want a big media deal. And so kudos to him, and I hope he does well at his next task at hand.
Yeah. They say Ward walked away from nearly $20 million on the table at ESPN to be able to take over at St. Bonaventure. And one of the reasons was that he felt burnt out, man. He was tired of not having time with the family, answering calls, doing reports. It was becoming too much for him, too much pressure for him to be able to handle that, man. He said there was an instance where he threw his phone into the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how burnt out he was. And he was one of the best in the business when it comes to reporting on the NBA. All right. Heisman. I couldn't believe when I read this. Now, Travis Hunter is a legitimate Heisman hopeful, right?
Right.
Why did some NFL scout say that Shedeur Sanders is not guaranteed to be a number one pick for a team?
Well, let's face it, Coach Prime said it best in his interview. These guys now are making more money than your average teacher, your average principal, your average reporter, and a lot of people jealous of these kids. And, you see it at a lot of high schools, not just in Colorado, but down south as well. And so I just think right now, man, it's the money game, Kyle. You know, everybody wants that Stephen A. deal, that Stephen A. contract, but you know, you don't want to do what comes along with the contract, and that's work. And so we just
say that one more time.
Everybody wants that Stephen A. deal, that $100 million media deal, but you don't want to do the work that comes along with it, Kyle.
Thank you, Coach. I've been saying that for years and years. Thank you, man. You got to work.
Got to work.
How will you expect to succeed unless you work?
Right.
I had so many of these kids come to, Miss Mosley, I want to be in media. Hey, can you write? No. But I want to be behind the camera. I mean, in front of the camera. Or something with the camera. I'm like,
are you willing to stay up at least at 9 o'clock? Most of them taking a nap at 5 o'clock.
9 o'clock? 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, rock. Can you rock with this old man here? If I told my guys, if I can outwork you, I work a full-time job. I do media when I get home, during the daytime at my desk. Coach calls me with 5 or 6 stories every day. Yeah. Right? Yeah. If I could do all that and write 2, 3, 4 stories a day and outwork it and do television now and radio or whatever. Shit. Come on, man. Come on.
I'll work.
Come on. You got to work, baby. How Martin used to say, you got if you want to stomp with the big dogs, you got to work, baby. You know, and that's how I see it, man. A lot of the young people don't want to work, and you hit it right on the head with that one, Coach. Work is necessary. Guys, we're going to be back in a few minutes. Hi, I'm Kyle T. Mosley of HBCU Legends. Look, warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meal. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy a nutritious, great tasting meal. Make today the day that you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this month with dietitian approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious from breakfast to dessert. Stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat your
Hey, small business leaders, have you ever thought there's got to be an easier way to do all the busy work? With JustWorks all-in-one platform, you can check all the boxes, run payroll in 90 seconds, access premium benefits, take care of tax reports, and even hire internationally. Any questions? Reach out to their expert staff for real human support. Plus, transparent pricing guaranteed. Visit justworks.com/podcast to join the thousands of small businesses that trust JustWorks to take care of payroll, benefits, compliance, and more.
Life is full of adventures.
Do you take this man to be your husband?
I do. Welcome home.
We did it. He has your eyes.
He's perfect.
Make the most of them all with PenFed checking and savings accounts. Learn more at PenFed.org. Federally insured by NCUA. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed Credit Union.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Meet Viant AI, the world's first fully autonomous advertising platform. With Viant AI, you can automate media planning, analyze results, and drive smarter decisions, all while saving you time and resources. Viant AI helps you unlock new potential and boost productivity regardless of your expertise. Visit Viant.ai today and see how the future of artificial intelligence in advertising can work for you.
yourself to restaurant quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, as well as blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, and simply eat well balanced. Head to factormeals.com/HBCU50 and use code HBCU50 to get 50% off your first box, 20% off your next month's. That's code HBCU50 at factormeals.com/HBCU50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month while subscriptions are active. All right, guys. So, Coach, let's talk about this, baby. I got a email from Vice President Harris's campaign, and 52 of the brightest HBCU legends from football are endorsing the Harris Waltz ticket. What are your thoughts initially?
Well, I don't get into the politics, Kyle. But I'm very supportive of the guys and what they do for whoever they vote for. And anytime you can get the legends involved to support our candidates, hey man, it's a great deal. And so just wishing both candidates well and hope the legends do an outstanding job supporting them.
Yeah. Over 50 HBCU football legends announced their support for Vice President Harris and Governor Waltz this November. The group of gridiron stars consists of Pro Football Hall of Famers, Super Bowl champions, and MVPs, former number 1 picks, and some of those black athletes and coaches that broke the color barrier in the National Football League. In their endorsement, the MVP and Coach Waltz, the black athletes have given them integrity, values, and demonstrated commitment to justice, equality, and opportunity. We are confident that as president, she will serve the best interests of all Americans. That's just a snippet there. And guys, we could not, and we don't endorse, we don't do the political thing, especially on Sports Illustrated. So I could not post the narratives there, but there are a lot of other HBCU sites that have the names of those individuals. I'm not going to say those names right here, but you get a chance to be able to read up on that going forward. All right. All right, Coach, what's on your mind, man?
Big game, Kyle, this weekend, Saturday night, 6 o'clock, Eddie G. Robinson Stadium. The Grambling State Tigers against the Jackson State Tigers, man. Hey, man, the game sold out.
That's good.
First time since,
that's good.
First time since the great Steve McNair against Kendrick Machine Gun Nord and the Eddie Robinson. That's been over 20 years ago, man. But, hey, man, this is going to be an exciting game. Grambling's riding high. Jackson's riding high. It's going to be a tight game, Kyle. I think Mickey Joseph is doing a great job there. Grambling has a big offensive line, big defensive line. They match up well with Jackson, man, and we could be looking at a SWAC championship preseason game right here.
I have to agree with you. What I saw from Miles Crowley, his composure down that stretch to be able to bring Grambling back in the fourth quarter,
right,
against Texas Commerce, that has to be a vote of confidence for yourself as well as those players in you, man, and the coaches in you, right?
Right.
And I just thought that was a great statement from Grambling to go up to Texas Commerce to be able to go and win that game, man. And they And they did it in a dramatic fashion, walked off with the interception in overtime. So proud of them. I'm proud of how that whole team played, how they did not give up, right? They could have even kind of threw in the towel and said it wasn't our time, but they created six turnovers in the game against Commerce. Man, that's great. That's really good news.
When you look at Miles Crowley, and first of all, you got to give a shout out to Mickey Joseph because Miles Crowley is just what he is. He's a pocket passer. They don't do a lot of hurry up. He sits in the pocket, makes great throws, and he has a cannon of an arm. You don't see him like in the past. Grambling like to run the quarterback a lot. But this kid, he's very calm, cool, collect. He sits in the pocket, makes some big time throws, and the defense, Grambling defense is playing lights out. It's going to be an outstanding matchup because Jackson has some unbelievable players on offense. I think this is the most talented team TC Taylor and Jackson has had in a long time, and he definitely has some draft picks on his team, man. And it's going to be an outstanding game. Big money game for the Grambling State Tigers and A.D. Scott. Big money man at Grambling. So, let's give him a shout. Hey, when I see him,
it's Dr. Scott to you.
Yeah, Dr. Scott. He always say, man, y'all give me a shout. I say, Doc, we know you making these big deals at Ohio State, and now he got the sold out game against Jackson, man. And hey, A.D. Robinson, Dr. Scott.
All
hey,
right.
man, it's going to be a challenge for the AD of the year this year.
Oh, yeah, that should be a good one to watch that one, man. And I'm going to say this. The only thing that concerns me about the Tigers, they tend to make some mistakes with silly penalties still. And they need to correct that, get that out the way. If they're able to line that out, they could possibly challenge FAMU, Jackson, like you said, and those guys, and is it a difference in coaching from Hugh Jackson to Mickey Joseph?
Kyle, I have to give Mickey Joseph the edge, and this is why. He came in, and I'm not saying Hugh Jackson didn't come in with a plan, but of course, Mickey Joseph's been in some big-time programs.
Right.
LSU, interim head coach in Nebraska. So he knows what the big money players look like. And he just was around Joe Burrow, national championship, player, national championship team. So what he did was, from what I saw, was took a little sprinkle of both teams and mixed it into Grambling, and I think it's working out. And so, of course, Grambling has some new players and better players. And so you got to give him his time, but he understands he has to win and win now. So, and then what gives him the edge, he's a New Orleans guy. So when you go to New Orleans, Mickey Joseph, the people know him, and he's going to be able to get a little bit better talent than Hugh Jackson, simply because, he's from the state. So I don't want to crown him yet, but he's off to a great start.
So Coach said all that to say this. Yes, it is coaching. And he's trying to be diplomatic. I understand, Coach. You don't want – that's your boys. You don't want to ruffle the feathers, but, hey – that's why I'm here. Media, I always ruffle feathers, and they always mad at me. So, yeah, it's coaching. It is coaching. I will say it. I think Mickey Joseph's done a fine job thus far with the Grambling State Tigers. Did you know, Coach, there's a classic that's going to be called the Frederick Douglass Classic?
In Rochester, New York, right?
Yeah. Albany State's playing in that? Okay, cool. And Morehouse is in Chicago with that classic that they're playing there. So
big game, big classic. Morehouse, the money school. I always call it the money school. They
Stomping
tend
with the big dogs, baby.
they go from New York to the big windows. Hey, that's
to
a
the
big
Windy
class.
City, ain't it?
Man. So they always got their hands in the money, man. So shout out to Morehouse College, man.
Shh, we're gonna be on the down low on that one, man. Because the haterade starts coming out. Why Morehouse, man? They can't win a game, but they're bringing the people. That's what you got to know, baby. The battle for the real HU. First Take was there today with Stephen A. Smith as well as Shannon Sharp. They showed up and showed out. It was a great turnout for those guys at Howard University to have the ESPN show, but it's going to be a better show at Audi Field in Washington, D.C. between the Pirates and the Bison. How do you see this one going down, Coach?
Gotta get in to Coach Scott, man. He's doing a great job at Howard. Hampton has a new coach, new program. They're, trying to build something great there, but just got to get an edge to Coach Scott and what he's done. And people are screaming championship at Howard for the second go-round. He's been in the championship game. He didn't come out on top, but, hey, they're screaming championship again at Howard this year, and they hadn't screamed back-to-back in a long time. So shout out to Coach Larry Scott and the job he's doing at Howard.
I ain't buying it. I'm hating. Yeah, I'm hating because they just beat down Morehouse. That was unfair. They shouldn't have done it like that. They shouldn't have tried to disrespect the house on national TV. But you got to give those kids at Morehouse some credit. They did score some 21 points on that Howard team, man. Think about this.
Yeah.
They scored 21 points. A better team, better executing team against the Bison is going to give them some trouble. And whatever the young coach over at Hampton is doing, he's doing it well because he spanked Norfolk State last week, man.
Yeah, very, very, very. I'm glad you said that, Kyle. Very shocking. That was an upset. People were
37-7. Yeah.
People were saying that Coach Owens was on the hot seat. Very, very big win for Hampton, going in there and beating Norfolk State. Very shocking, but big win for Hampton. And I believe, that coach just got there this summer. So, man, coaches are working, Kyle.
If you're willing to put in the work, it will pay off.
Right.
And I have to say it like that, man. And Hampton, it looks like because they fired the last coach abruptly.
Right.
People were trying to figure out what's going on with the program. Then they had an interim coach, and now then they hired a new coach. It was just what's happening at Hampton, and Hampton's surprising some people right now.
Right? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at, Coach. And I'm just like, wow, what's happening with the Pirates? And I think this game against the Bison could be closer than comfortable for the Bison. So I still give the Bison the edge, but I think the Pirates I wouldn't be surprised if they walked away with an upset.
I wouldn't be surprised either, Kyle. You got a guy in there now that understands the recruiting tool. And let's face it, man, you're talking about one of the top HBCU programs in the country.
Yeah.
Hampton Pirates. If you ever been in that campus, beautiful campus, like Bethune Cookman, hey, man, they by the beach. And so I think this guy understands the type of brand Hampton has, and he's getting the right players in there now. And plus the fact he's working hard, burning the midnight oil, Kyle, and he could be the top team in the MEAC.
Well, look, Hampton's still in the CAA, right?
You're right. I forgot that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just needed you to check me on that one. Hi, I'm Kyle T. Mosley of HBCU Legends. Look, warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meal. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy a nutritious, great tasting meal. Make today the day that you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this month with dietitian approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious from breakfast to dessert. Stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, as well as blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, and simply eat well balanced. Head to factormeals.com/HBCU50 and use code HBCU50 to get 50% off your first box, 20% off your next month's. That's code HBCU50 at factormeals.com/HBCU50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month while subscriptions are active.
Right.
All right. If you missed it last night, there was a great game between Benedict and Shaw, right? Yeah, man. Right. Came down to the last 4 seconds. Benedict, that boy threw a laser in the back of the end zone, and the Tigers walked off with the win. Are you surprised?
No, I'm not. Benedict still has some championship players. Coach Tinsbury couldn't take everyone. He left some players there. You can see the tangibles in those guys that he left there. Very outstanding team. But I gave Shaw credit too. They had some great players, but Benedict just a little bit too strong. And they know how to win, Kyle. And when you know how to win, it makes your coaching easier. And so, Benedict has a strong team, and hopefully somebody look out. Somebody might upset them this week.
Okay. We'll be back in 2 and 2 to talk a little bit more HBCU football, and Coach will give you his predictions on the big games of the week. All right. Kyle T. Mosley back with Coach Daryl Stewart. Coach, Clark Atlanta has been the buzz in Atlanta. It's not Morehouse, and I got to be able to put those Panthers down every chance I get. So I'm clowning, guys. Bethune Cookman will host the Panthers this weekend, man. That's an interesting matchup. If Bethune loses, what do you say about that program?
I won't be shocked if Bethune lose because they are suffering right now. They have quarterback problems, Kyle. You know what we say: if you don't have a quarterback,
you ain't got much, baby.
You ain't got much. And right now, the city of Atlanta has embraced Clark. I believe they have 3 quarterbacks. They averaging over 30 points a game, and they have the great LC Cole in Atlanta, man. Anytime you have a legend that knows how to win in your backyard, I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to get an edge to Clark in this.
Okay. FAMU plays Troy this weekend. Talk about it.
Tough game for FAMU. They just came out their loss to Miami, and now they got to go back to Troy. It's going to be a tough game, tough outing for them. Let's hope the Rattlers come out of this with injury-free. But I got Troy winning the ball game.
Now, when Coach Fred McNair was running the show in Alcorn on the reservation, he was running those Cowboys at McNeese out of the building. Now, can Cedric Thomas and those guys do it with Alcorn against McNeese this coming Saturday? What's your thoughts?
Tough game, tough game. You know, I'm told Edward Waters gave Alcorn a scare in the first, second quarter. They're not going to be able to play like that against McNeese and get away with a win. I think Alcorn's going to have to be patient with Coach Thomas. You know, it's not going to happen overnight. I don't think they're going to beat McNeese simply because they have quarterback issues. And, Kai, it's tough right now in a lot of our schools, man. The talent is just not there at the most important position on the field, and that's the quarterback position. So I got to get an edge to the McNeese Cowboys.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. I have to apologize to Benedict. They defeated Edward Waters last night, not Shaw. That was Edward Waters that they defeated. And Texas Southern plays Lamar. What's your thoughts?
This one could be close. You know, Lamar is one of those struggling programs, kind of like McNeese. If Texas Southern Coach Dishman coming there ready to play, man, I think they can come out with a victory. But I'm told Texas Southern is the starter out, the quarterback Cooper. If he doesn't play, I just don't think the young Jace Wilson. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna have to get the edge to Lamar.
Yeah, this is the first time I believe that Lamar has had a ranking, national ranking, in years. They're ranked number 22 in the national poll for, let's see, yeah, number 22 in the Stats Perform FCS poll, man. So that's the first time in, I think they said, in over 20 years that Lamar has been ranked. So kudos to Lamar.
Yeah.
Man, look, I struggle with this one. I think the Tigers can play up to their potential. I think they will give Lamar some problems. Without KJ Cooper, I don't know how much problems they will be able to give offensively. That's you know, I think Jace, if that offensive line gives him time, then he can be able to do some damage. That's the whole thing with Jace Wilson. He needs time,
right,
to be able to survey the field more than just 1 second. Like Rice, man, they were in. As soon as he snapped the ball, they were like, "Hey, man, what you got to eat today, Jace?"
Yeah.
They were in the backfield already, man. Oh yeah. Go ahead and run the play, man. We'll be right on you. That's what it looked like. You know, he just did not have time to set, scan, pass, and it was obvious, man. So that's how I see that one, man. Coach, let's see here. Oh, here's a good one. The Bulldogs of Bowie State versus Winston-Salem Rams. Winston-Salem is doing pretty good this year. What's your thoughts on that one, man?
I think Winston-Salem could win it. You know, where's the game being played?
It is being played in Winston-Salem, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take Winston-Salem to win.
Okay, all right, guys, and looking at the rest of the schedule, good games, go to HBCUlegends.net. You can be able to look at the schedule for the week 4. I already put it out there. Virginia Union against Johnson C. Smith. Now, that should be the premier game on the East Coast right now, man. Johnson C. Smith is ranked, I believe, number 1 in a few polls for Division II programs. You know, Virginia Union over the past couple of years, they've been right underneath Benedict because of Coach Chennis Berry. But Dr. Alvin Parker's squad has performed very well. Everybody thought this was their year. I thought this was their year. They have to defeat Johnson C. Smith, right?
Right.
All right.
Johnson C. Smith is in outstanding, the beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. The coaches doing an outstanding job of recruiting, Kyle. I'm told that they remodeled facilities, and it's showing on Saturdays now because they have a great football team.
Okay. And guys, another correction from me. Winston-Salem is playing next week. They're going to host that game. This week, Winston-Salem is going, they got a tougher opponent, the Trojans of Virginia State. That's a tough one, too.
Yeah,
So
that's going to be tough.
that's going to be a good game. All right, guys. Coach.
Kyle, let's not forget the great Angela Suggs, the new AD at FAMU.
See, you just had to go on, Coach. Go on, Coach. Go on,
I
Coach.
want her to hit the show and say, y'all, they give me a shout out.
Yeah, see, I just got tonight invited to the press conference on Monday. So congratulations to VP and AD Suggs, who is taking over that role at Florida A&M. I'm proud of her, so that's a FAMU alum. We'll see how well she's able to push that program into the direction. I think it was heading into the right direction anyway under AD Sykes. So we'll see how everything goes with her. That's an interesting dynamic there. How do you feel about what's happening with Florida A&M at this time?
Well, I'm told by some reliable sources at FAMU that they had to grab her because she worked on 2 Super Bowl committees, and that was a big plus. And knowing that, I mean, when I saw her name, I didn't think that they would get her because of the money and the fact that she worked with the Super Bowl committee. But they got her, and I just think it's a big plus financially for FAMU. She has ties with the big money people in the state of Florida.
Governor DeSantos.
Yeah. So, hey, man, Florida has big money, Disney World, Super Bowl. Florida got big money, man. So I just think it was a plus, not only for the athletic department, but the university as well.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And that connection still scares me, having a connection to that office, because there's been some rumblings. People are rumored that they're fearful of a possible takeover by the state. And that's the only thing that scares me.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Kyle. But when you talk to people and listen to it, some people say it might not be a bad thing because the state is going to make sure that the money goes.
No, I can't believe you said that.
Well, hey, I'm saying what some people are saying with funds, because let's face it now, this hire is really a Division I hire. Bringing her in, being on the Super Bowl committee. That wasn't FAMU. That wasn't a FAMU decision. That was a state decision.
Yeah,
so
it was. It was a state decision.
I mean, so the money, all of a sudden down next week, she might say, "Hey, we got 3 or 4 million coming in," and everybody's like, "Well, we got a good AD." So
All right. That's a good point, man. Valid point. I'll be quiet. Let's just wait to see what happens. Look, on this day back in 1987, Walter Payton made history by breaking Jim Brown's NFL record of 107 rushing touchdowns in his career when the Bears defeated Tampa Bay 20-3. Sweetness, man, wish you were still around. Your influence would have been so great if you were still here. It still is great with you gone, but, man, just think if we had Sweetness still around.
Oh, Coach, one of my great experiences and ideas right now is to have the Walter Payton Classic. I think in Jackson State or
That'll be
Chicago.
good. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm waiting on A.D. Roberts, Ashley to get this going, A.D. Robertson to get this going, man. A lot of the Tiger fans have been waiting on the Walter Payton Classic. We need it to keep Sweeten's name alive. Man, one of the greatest running backs to ever play the game, Kyle.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites, man. I'll tell you that much. Shoot. I loved Walter Payton. And I remember when he put a hurting on the Saints running for 274 or 275 yards one day. I think that was the most he ever rushed for, man. I was like, wow. I couldn't believe it.
Him in refrigerator period, man. My dad had the grill going, and we was in the backyard watching him in refrigerator period, man.
Mike Dicker, that was wrong. I'm sorry. You cannot tell me you should not have had that ball handed off to Sweetness. Sorry. All right, Coach, tell everybody how they can find you, man.
Hey, you guys can find me at tycoonleague2@gmail.com. Also here with the great Kyle T. Mosley on HBCUlegends.com. All
right. That's Coach Daryl Stewart. Bringing the noise, bringing the heat, bringing the info. He got look, Coach has some inside information he don't even want to share with me, but that's okay, Coach. All right. I'm Kyle T. Mosley. Go to HBCUlegends.net. You can be able to read up on all of our content on Sports Illustrated. You can check us out at HBCU Legends on all the social media platforms. Have a great weekend. Take care. We are out.
Life is full of adventures.
Do you take this man to be your husband?
I do. Welcome home.
We did it. He has your eyes.
He's perfect.
Make the most of them all with PenFed checking and savings accounts. Learn more at PenFed.org. Federally insured by NCUA. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed Credit Union.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
Do you know what it takes to be iconic? You are iconic. I am iconic. I love Iconic America because when you're thirsty, there's only one way to hydrate, and that's with the world's best tasting spring water on earth. Hydrate responsibly. Iconic Agua, where hydration meets greatness.